Is it important? Oh, you're not from around here, are you? I know that accent.
What? Let's
Move along.
Prophet, are you in there? Kirash, what? Why? What have you done? Watch your tongue, Shari. Be glad that the blood is already dry, or else you'd be nothing but a pile of bones by now. Forgive me. I just can't believe it. Anyone but Lashari? Yes, I know, Nea. But she was a good woman. We both know that we're not involved in this. So please tell me why you and Lashari wanted to meet up here? Were the two of you close? It's been a while since there was a man at Lashari's side. So why? What? Then this bastard got wind of it. Oh, Kirash, Lashari, why the secrecy? Maybe the murderer has left a clue. We have to search. What's this? Let me see. Yes! This could be our clue. No, certainly not. But come to think about it, it doesn't really help us either. There are so many dust addicts in Ark, it would take years just to count them. Oh, by the name of the sun, I will inform the Order. No, it's not. Believe me. We will find this son of a whore, and he is going to pay for what he did.
Wait a moment. You wouldn't have that much.
Good evening.
Yes? Well, as I told you, I was never very popular with the other novices. You know, the novitiate was very challenging. The magisters only rarely gave us days off to contemplate, as they called it. The others usually used it to go to the tavern to gamble and drink. I never really liked that kind of pastime, and I still don't. I've never really thought about things like that. You know, life in the temple is quite secluded, and I doubt there are many men or women who would find my way of living attractive. But forgive me, that's very personal. I don't really want to talk about it. That's true, but when I feel the need to relax, I prefer taking a stroll or spending time in the baths. Whatever secret there is about relaxing to loud music, raucous shouting, and alcohol is beyond me. If it's really necessary, what do you want to know? Yes, but at what price? It isn't just what happens on the outside when it tries to take me over, Saira. At least not just that. It's what goes on inside, my thoughts, my feelings. Imagine you are walking through a forest, all on your own. Then you hear heavy breathing, sobbing, and as you follow it, you find a wounded hunter. He's been mauled by a bear and is now heavily injured and delirious. I, that is the part of me that is myself, would want to help this man, to get him to safety. But the moment I see blood, the smell of death, these other thoughts start invading my mind. Yes, and that sight, it would arouse it. I can't find a better word for it. If I were to give in, it would... Forgive me, Saira. I can't talk about this. I am sorry. If that were the case, I probably wouldn't be here right now, would I? No, it hasn't. Usually it's just thoughts, and they're almost always there. It's as if there's always something lurking in the dark corners of my mind, just waiting for me to give in. It's tough, to say the least. I don't know if you can relate to that. Honest answer? I don't know, and I don't want to know. As I told you in the Schola, if I really am the one to blame for that massacre in the village, if this memory is real, then the answer to your question is yes. I would transform into whatever this creature is, but it will never come to that. You have my word. Saira? Yes, it is. Master Tyrus, my foster father. He was half Kyranian. Until that Quarric appeared, I actually thought things were going relatively well, like with the sigil stone and this beacon. But a war with Narim, that changes everything. They trump us in every aspect. Manpower, equipment, siege machinery. Let's just hope the walls of Ark are really as durable as they're said to be. Tattoo? Oh, of course, you mean my mark. I've had that for as long as I can remember, and I don't have the slightest idea as to how I got it. No, it isn't. It's just there, that's all. That's what Tyrus said too, but if it has a meaning, it's obscure. I couldn't find anything in the books, and the Magisters couldn't put their fingers on it either. It does. You're the first to tell me that, but thanks, I guess. Not without leaving a bad scar, at least according to the apothecary. And even if that weren't the case, I don't know if I'd want it gone. It reminds me of something. It was stitched into the blanket they found me in near that village. I don't really know if it is my actual name, but I had nothing else to go with, so it stuck.
What?
Huh?
This just doesn't make any sense. Why can't it ever
Ah,
be
if it isn't the Prophet. What's wrong? You look troubled.
That's beyond me.
I know. Shah Rim has already told me. I hardly knew her, but it's horrible. Different ideologies or not, she was a fine young mage, and her knowledge of the Pyreans was impressive. We need to find the ones who did this, and fast. But you probably already know that. Thank Malphus we just had a breakthrough with the beacon. At least as far as the sockets go, yes. In the old tablets you found in Old Dothugrad, there's talk of black embers, which are supposed to be some kind of energy supply for the machine. This is what we've been asking ourselves over the past few weeks, and then it fell like pelt from our eyes. The Pyreans were talking about the Black Pearls. Old jewels, sometimes known as Blackstones. They appeared for the first time in the Golden Era, and every self-important noble literally fought to get one in his possession. Apparently they originated from Stormwind, the old city in the heart of Arctwind. They changed owners for decades, sometimes by violence, sometimes by gold. The whole thing only stopped when the owners took note of an undesirable side effect, if you like.
Yes. What do you need to know?
Everything has a catch, and sometimes this catch is even upside down. But the stones weren't somehow enchanted, if that's what you're thinking. At least not by any known magical means.
Was a fast climber.
Nevertheless, all of their owners eventually shared the same fate. Countess Katua from Nerim, for example, whose castle burnt down to its foundations. According to a survivor of this tragedy, she was to blame for that. He claimed that he saw her the night it happened, laughing hysterically and dancing in the dining room and summoning waves of fire all around her. She was not previously known to have any magical talent in her.
Why?
Correct. Plus, all of them eventually showed similar symptoms of delusion, like those possessed by the Red Madness do. A peculiar coincidence, if you ask me.
Let's hope he knows what
Not quite.
Those who owned a pearl tried to get rid of it, or lock it up somewhere safe, and eventually they fell into oblivion. Tell him your theory, Archmagister.
Yes, of course.
Grandmaster wants us to examine the theory and history.
We believe that the stones carry energy, pure, uncontrolled magic, and that the High Ones use them for their own purposes.
Look, where is this supposed
Correct.
to lead?
The pearl's magic make their owners powerful, but the High Ones befoul them, so to speak. Like a poisoned potion. I know it sounds odd, but the parallels are too striking to ignore. The red shimmer in the victim's eyes, the slow descent into madness, and ultimately this irrational, destructive act of violence.
Yes, that just might work.
That's what we thought too, but it seems that we were wrong. Maybe the High Ones never leave our planes at all, even after the cleansing. Maybe they are even part of this world, just like the tides or the elements. And the death of the gods is only what really sets them rolling, so to speak.
That's beyond me.
That's a question I've been asking myself since we first learned of the cycle. Who knows? Maybe they like for us to suffer. Or maybe they see us as we see ants, whose lives simply mean nothing. Or maybe the very concept of intentions is meaningless to them. That's what we think, yes. Nothing else in this world possesses that much raw power.
Which is why you will find them for us. No, because we know what we are dealing with, unlike those who fell victim to the stones. Imagine them as a powerful, magical sword. A fool won't know how to wield it and will eventually cut himself with it. A seasoned warrior, however, can use its power for his purposes. Which doesn't mean, however, that we will be careless with them. What we need is their energy, and once we have transferred that to the beacon, their shells will be useless to the High Ones.
Let's hope he knows what he's doing.
Correct. That's right. But we don't need all of them. The beacon has 3 sockets, and that is how many of the stones we will acquire. Archmagister.
I studied the history of the pearls as a young arcanist, and I think that my notes might give you some hints as to where you should start looking. Give me until tomorrow. By then I will have prepared the relevant excerpts. Just come to me whenever you have questions.
And hurry. I take it you have already noticed this, but Nerimi's troops are roaming our land and building outposts, and the Red Madness is also getting worse as we speak. Now go, Prophet. The sooner we find these stones, the better.
Prophet, I have been told it is a great loss for our cause. You were the one who found her, weren't you? Why was she in the tavern? And how did you know where to find her?
Where is this supposed to lead?
And she did not say anything else? That was foolish. Here in the temple, the murderer would not have had such an easy time. And whatever it was she found out, she took it to the grave with her. Now we are back at the beginning. I will ensure that she gets a proper funeral. Commander Aaron will take care of the investigation.
Yes, it makes sense.
This just doesn't make any sense. Why can't it ever be easy?